Good morning, good morning, good morning, and peace and blessings to you. It's a great day. It's a blessed day. It's a Wednesday. And you all know what it is today. Y'all know what it is. Do you know what it is? I think you do. It's our Workshop Wednesday. And this morning, we have a special guest in the building. Well, look, I'm not going to say that we're in the building, but we're virtually.
Social
We're
distance.
virtually a good friend, a great real estate agent, a all around good person, Miss Vanessa Ramirez. Good
Hi.
morning to you.
Hi. Good morning. How
Good
are you, my
morning.
soul partner?
Yeah, this is
Here.
so crazy that finally I have you on.
Yeah, we've talked about it for a little while.
Yes, we have. Have we not? Okay.
So how
Okay.
are you? How are you
I'm
doing
doing
during the
good.
whole
I am doing
situation?
good. I have Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm sorry. What was the last part you said?
I
I'm
said
sorry.
during this whole pandemic situation, this being solo and I'm lonely.
Look, I keep telling people all the time, I keep saying like there's only so much more of this I'm gonna take. Like I like the other day, Vanessa, I got out and took a drive. Where? I don't know. I just took a drive, right? Because I needed to get out. I needed to
I've
get
done that.
out. Like I'm an outgoing person, but I'm not necessarily an outgoing person. So when this first happened, I was like, yay, yay, I get time to myself. I get to create. I get to do this and do that. And then after about a couple of weeks, I was like, oh, Lord, I can't do this. And then that has been a couple of months. And then now they're talking about this second wave, right? Or third.
That hasn't even started yet.
Right. And that we
Mhm.
may be September, October timeframe, and people talking about, and then not only that, Vanessa, and I'm pretty sure you'll talk about it, in a little bit, but not only that, this is going to affect us forever. Like our lives will
Absolutely.
never be the same. Will never
Right.
be the same. How has it been treating you and the family?
So I think I kind of take this moment and I describe it as my little house on the prairie moment. So
Now wait
I
a minute, Vanessa. Hold on, because you know those millennials, those people, they're gonna tell us they're gonna be. I don't know what that is. What is that?
so we're taking
So
it back to what was that? What year was it even take?
was it like
It
in the 70s or the 80s?
so I think it took place like in the early 1900s even
Yeah,
because
yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that. So it's more about like the homeschooling and the little bitty, connection
Yes,
or
yes, that
whatever. I feel
part.
like I get my kids back in a moment where I had them right before they started kindergarten, and I got to reshape their little brains and their
Right.
attitudes, especially their whole personalities that
Oh,
they
that's
had
too much.
observed
Yeah.
from um, all the people that they met over the last, however many years. And I got to turn them back into the little monsters that I want them to be rather than the little monsters out there to choose to be. So, um,
Right.
I mean, I'm blessed in that I'm able to create a work environment for myself where I'm able to, you know, arrange my schedule to be home for my
Right.
kids,
That makes
of
sense.
them, and to handle business. So
Yeah.
it's a blessing and a curse.
And
So
the curse. Huh, and the curse. Indeed. Indeed. Uh Steven said, yeah, I know Little House. He said it was like in the 70s. Yes. But we were talking about the time period that it was set in was
right.
like the 1900s or like coming up like
Yeah, when they rode carriages with horses
yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
driving.
And you know what's funny? I'm gonna say this because I was just talking about. I was watching In the Heat of the Night the other night, right? Like a marathon, and I was saying everything happens in Sparta. So everything happened on a Little House on the Prairie. Like there was drugs, there was gangs, there was all of this stuff. There was uh, everybody went to the same school. There was discrimination against you for being poor, you not having yeah, yeah, that was a lot. That was
History
a lot.
repeats itself.
Huh?
History repeats itself.
History repeating all the time, all the time, all the time. I think sometimes we don't necessarily know that that's what that is, but yeah, history always repeats itself for real, for real. All
Right.
right, ladies and gentlemen. So we had our little nostalgia moment where we went down, a little memory lane. So what I want you all to do is share, share, share. This morning we're going to share some tidbits, some nuggets. We're going to give a little bit of inspiration, but we're also going to give some knowledge and some things that you might want to do if you're looking to get into real estate. I guarantee you, Vanessa's going to tell you. She gonna tell you. Because I remember when we were riding around looking for
Bad
homes.
and the ugly.
Okay. All right, y'all. I was given a little moment to get a little introduction in this morning. Again, for all of you who are all tuning in right now, this is Vanessa Ramirez through the Texas Home Group Realty. I put her website down and scrolling down at the bottom down there. So go ahead and click onto the website and check her out, and especially after you hear what she has to say this morning. So I've been Vanessa. What I've been doing is that I've been looking at businesses, Black businesses, but then also those of us who are people of color, right? And that we are out here doing the job that you see these bigger companies and places doing, and that we don't really get that recognition, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, a little background. When I was looking for a home, Vanessa, well, first off, me and Vanessa are old friends from back in the GX days. For those of y'all that don't know, y'all go Google it and figure it out. Google it, figure it out. But so we're friends from back in those days, and so we've always kept up with each other because we're more like a family. For those of us that are all came from those days, and so Vanessa has been out there grinding and doing. And then I thought to myself, well, who would be better to let us know what's going on and what's happening than Vanessa herself, because she surely gave it to me straight. Like, well, why do you want that? I'm gonna say something, Vanessa, that was really, really uh, it didn't take me aback, but it brought me into reality. I was telling Vanessa that I wanted 2.5 baths, right, in my house. And so one day me and Vanessa were so one day me and Vanessa was in this house, and Vanessa said, how many bathrooms do you have? And I said, one. Oh, so you have one bathroom right now? I said, yes. She said, oh, okay. You have one bathroom. And I said, because I
How
was in
many
there
do
talking.
you actually need? How many people are going to be using all of these potties? And most importantly, who's going to be cleaning all of these restrooms? Just a thought.
Look,
Just saying, I'm a mom. I've got, I'm just,
right.
I hate cleaning bathrooms.
I know.
You want to do that too. I
Oh my
promise. I was
God.
looking out for your future interest. I swear.
Oh, but it was so funny. She said to me, and she looked at me just like that. She said, how many bathrooms do you have? And I said, one. She said, how many bathrooms do you have? Oh, that was too funny. I will never forget that. I will never forget that. But that's the
So
kind of stuff that I love about Vanessa. She's going to be real with you. She's going to make you think about it and go for it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vanessa.
no. I was just going to kind of build on that and say
Yeah.
that I kind of play devil's advocate. So I always tell people I'm a terrible salesperson. I know that's an awful thing to say as a salesperson, but
Oh,
it's because I think about what I would need in
right.
this situation. If I was on the flip side of this relationship,
Right.
what information would I want to hear? So
Right.
it's easy to walk into a place and decide, okay, I love these floors, I love these cabinets, I love, the wall color.
Right.
But if you have, train tracks in the back that's going off at 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. every night, and then you have, wires from electricity poles hanging right over the pool where the kids are,
Right.
or you got cars parked all up and down the street, but you plan on having your kids in the street to play. I mean,
Right.
if I want to sell you a house, I definitely do, because I want to, I mean, not just sell you the house, but build a relationship forever.
Right.
The thing is, I'm not looking for you to hate me forever. I want you to love me forever. So I have to make sure that you're completely happy with where you're already
Right.
at and where you're going to be, because otherwise you're going to be like, oh, why didn't that girl tell me this stuff? Like,
Exactly.
that's just not fair to anyone. I wouldn't want to be treated that way. So I make it a point to treat others the way I want to be treated.
That part. That part right there. Did you stop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
what I do. I mean, I treat others the way I want to be treated. I don't want to leave any unknowns. If you're going into a fixer upper,
Mhm.
really considering that, like, have you really thought about what this work is going to
Right.
require, how much
Right.
time, effort, what do you do for a living, like,
Exactly.
what's going on with your work day? I get into a relationship with my client where I know what time you're walking your dog, I know what time you're eating breakfast,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
know what time you're in bed, I know what time you're rocking your kids to sleep, I know what time you're reading your newspaper. I mean, if you're on a day and then night schedule and it's flipped every 2 weeks, trust me, I
Okay.
know that too. Don't you worry. Because it's
Exactly.
important for me to work around your schedule. So I'm not
Exactly.
an 8 a.m. kind of girl, because at 8 a.m. all my clients are usually working and they don't want nothing to do with me. And I, of course, need them to keep their job so they can,
Right.
get out. So
Indeed, indeed. But we're gonna get all into that, ladies and gentlemen. You see, she's already dropping knowledge, and we really ain't even started yet. So be on
hey,
that
so
one.
can I interrupt for just a
Sure.
second? I didn't see the link online. Can you make sure you send that to me so I can make
Sure.
sure it's on my page too before we continue along?
I'm going to bring it in.
I got it.
Got it?
I did.
I got you. I got you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, share, share, share. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about some real estate this morning. So, you all know what we do every morning. And before we get started, we like to we like to acknowledge that our breath is important. We like to acknowledge that we are here and that we're loved and that we're great and all of that good stuff. So, I invite you along to come with me and take a couple of breaths, right? Just to acknowledge that we know that breath is important. We breathe every day without even knowing that we're breathing, but breath is important. You really don't understand how important breath is until someone starts to choke the breath out of you, right? Or you start to lose your breath, or you're underwater and you can't breathe. So those things are important, and I think we should acknowledge those things, right? So I do 3 breaths in the morning for those of you who are just joining us this morning and have not seen the show. And the first breath, I will count it out. And I normally count it out, but you'll normally see me do my hands like this, right? And go through. And then what we do is we count out the first breath. The second breath, we don't count. But on the third breath, we want you to take whatever that is, issue, problem, concern. And when you blow it out, we want you to make some noise, right? Now, again, I tell all my guests and my co-host and anybody that comes on, we're not responsible if you're in a library or at the workplace and you start hollering, and yeah, we're not responsible for that, right? But we are responsible for you having a warm and fuzzy, feeling good, waking up your neurons and your cells this morning, and just acknowledging that you are living. All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, what I'm going to do is take a deep breath. I'm going to count out this first breath. It's at a slower 5 pace, right? And so I think me and Vanessa may have talked about this some time ago. But what I did was after I was in the military, I come across learning about chakras and things like that. And sort of like some Buddhist teachings, right? Monks, to where they go and, well, what we do down south, we pray, right? But other individuals or other religions, they meditate, right? So I meditate and pray, right? And the exercise was to center yourself by slowing your breathing down, right? And you should be able to count to 10 and hold this, hold your breath for that long. Now, when I first started, I could not. I could not. I was choking, but after practice and practice and practice. So what it was is that you drew a circle mentally, right? Or spiritually, you drew a circle around yourself, right? And then you drew another circle that was possibly, and I'm gonna just use 6 feet because we dealing with COVID, possibly 6 feet out from that, right? Everything around you that's not meant for your good, that you are not able to tackle right now, mentally, right? Spiritually, you should be able to move it to the outer rings of those circles, right? And you do that by centering yourself by breathing. Because when you breathe and slow down your breathing, you open up. You're like an antenna, like trying to get to the right dial. So I kind of adopted that, in my own way. But I think that we all have to acknowledge that breath is important. And what I mean by that is that you living is important. You being who you are, you doing what you do, that's important. All right. So I said all that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready? Let's go. Let's go with it. On the count of three, we're going to take a deep breath in, and I'm going to count it out this first time, and then we're going to get on into it. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I know you might not be able to get to the 5, but however far you can get comfortably, right? Right? Because I don't want y'all. It's early in the morning. I drug Vanessa out this morning at 8 a.m. So
Full face, baby.
yes, yes. Indeed, indeed, Stephen. Sometimes, I'm saying this because I'm always trying to educate myself. But normally, whenever you want to hear or see what's going on around you, no matter what religion, no matter what faith, no matter what walk you're on, they always tell you to be still, be quiet, like come into yourself because you are truly an antenna. So, yes, thank you for that. All right. So on the second breath, on the count of three, we're going to take a deep breath. I'm not counting this time, but I will go ahead and do the hand movements so you can actually see, and we'll go from there. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. Blow it out. Blow it out. All right. Ooh, blow it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. You should have a little warm and fuzzy. You shouldn't feel any discomfort or anything like that, but we're acknowledging that our breath is important. Now, this last breath is really important because I want you to acknowledge whatever that issue, problem, concern is. And when you take it in, when you blow it out, I want you to make some noise. And it doesn't matter if you look crazy. It doesn't matter if you sound cuckoo. Make some noise because what we're doing, we're acknowledging that issue, problem, concern that's holding us, right? We're releasing it. We're letting it go. Send it to Mount Fiji. Send it to Mount Everest. Send it wherever you want to send it, but we're going to let it go. All right? On the count of three. Huh?
I said I got some ideas.
Yes. All right. So on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And so yes, so yes, ladies and gentlemen, what we like to do in the mornings, we like to come in and we like to start off with taking a breath, acknowledging that our breath is important. So if you have not been a witness to the show, I'm not your typical show host. I'm not your typical show that comes on. That's not it. Like I love to do stuff my way, as Vanessa knows. 9 times out of 10, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to go on and go off left and go on and do what I'm going to do and come back around. So what we like to do once we have acknowledged that our breath is important and once we've got it in, we like to groove. I love music. I love vibes. I love frequency and all of that. I love that. So what I do is what I call is Titans Groove, right? It's just a little scat that I do myself, nothing important. So y'all don't be trying to judge me like it's the Grammys, but I wouldn't care anyways, because hey, look, I have
It's
my
your
own
show,
show.
man.
Okay, look. So I have my own. So what we do is we like to groove, bring a little happiness in. And this is how we groove. Y'all ready? I think I heard you say that you were ready. So if you're ready, let's get it. Sit it ta 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 ta. Sit it ta 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 ta. Soon ta 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 tum tum ta tum tum ta ta tum tum ta tum tum ta ta tum tum ta tum. T2P, check me out. T2P, check me out. Doom ta ta tum 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 ta ta tum 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 ta ta tum 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 tum. T2P, check me out. T2P, check me out. T2P, check me out. Right. Yes. Wake up this morning. Wake up. See, Vanessa, you didn't know
Probably,
I was doing all that, huh, this
probably,
morning. You didn't know what
probably.
you
Yeah, I know
signed
that's
on for,
actually
did you?
helpful. I've had the worst time sleeping for the past 2 nights, so
Yeah.
meditation and a little bit of,
How about that? How about that?
yeah,
That's what
it'll
I'm
do it for
talking
you.
about. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good morning, everyone that's coming in. Good morning. We appreciate you for coming in. So I have Vanessa Ramirez with me this morning. And what I want to do, we've already introduced her, but what I want her to do is to introduce herself. Tell us who she is, what she does, what's her expertise, because she's an expert. And just let us know a little bit about you, Vanessa.
So, I've been in real estate for about 10 years now. Before
Mhm.
that, I was in accounting, and as Aaron mentioned, or Titan mentioned, sorry,
No, you're
uh,
good. You're good.
we worked together at Tx many years ago, way before the digital age, like was on
Yes.
us. So, I have this very unique experience in that when electricity companies became deregulated and we
Hmm.
started getting credit reports in order to waive deposits and so forth, it was finicky at first. So
Mm.
I was in a place where I was the single person in the company that would get those rejected ones, and I would go through and approve or disprove credit reports. So I mean, I don't think that there's a whole lot of people in the world that can attest to seeing literally thousands of
Out.
credit reports. And with that, I mean, thank goodness I'm one of those honest people who are not about, doing crazy stuff, because there's a
Right.
ton of those out there. But I mean, with doing that, it's like just, it helped me to see something that I would have never otherwise to see.
Yeah.
I was able to recognize, how one thing affects another on credit and so forth. And not
Mm.
only have I been able to apply that in my personal life, but I've been able to apply that in my now professional life as a
Right.
realtor with clients who have credit issues or want to boost their credit, because obviously credit is everything, guys. Like I say
Right.
all the time, like good credit will buy you anything at the cheapest price possible. Like I would go without food to pay my credit cards
Right.
to make sure that my credit was intact. I'm just saying,
Right.
because I mean, I paid for, like a nicer car, what I used to pay for a less nicer car, and it's the same price, just because
Yes.
it's
Yes.
better. And I'm like, where was I? Why didn't anyone teach me this when I was a kid? So
Right.
that accounting was great. It was very informative, but it was also a lot of work and very impersonal and corporate. And
Hmm.
I love the relationships, obviously, that I was able to garner. But I didn't feel like I was doing what I was meant to do.
Uh-huh.
So separate from that, having younger children at the time, I really wanted to be in a place where I could take
Right.
care of them and be there for them instead of, working from 5 a.m. to midnight every day. And this did it for me. I was able to be there for my kids, but most importantly, I was able to help change lives
Right.
at a time. I
That
say
part.
this all the time, and I mean, not to take away at all for what doctors do or whatever. And I say I'm not a doctor, but I definitely do change lives all the time. I mean, I only work with people that I personally or are referrals of friends and so forth. I'm not one of those agents that are out there, mass marketing and all of that. I mean, where I can appreciate there's a place for those agents in the business for
Mhm.
sure.
Right.
That's not business. I'm very hands-on. I work with my clients one-on-one. I never take on more business than I can handle, because I like to be there throughout the whole process. I mean, it is an emotional roller coaster for every person buying a property, buying anything that expensive, period. But I mean, I'm there literally through all
Right.
of the emotions of
Indeed.
it, like
Indeed.
from the anxiety to
Uh-huh.
the excitement. And I mean, thank goodness for camera phones and so forth that I've been able to capture those moments. I mean, what a blessing,
Mhm.
honestly. Like,
Right.
I have never been more proud of what I did or what I do
Right.
than now. I
Got
mean, I'm helping people.
Indeed, indeed. So that's gonna segue us right into what's happening right now with COVID-19 and this coronavirus. And how do you see that affecting real estate, or has it? Has it?
It definitely
Mhm.
it
Go ahead.
definitely has. So we went from a buyer's market to a seller's market, meaning that
Ah,
before there was an influx of properties for sale and not enough buyers to buy them all. Now there's not enough houses for sale and a whole bunch of buyers to buy them.
right,
So that has caused the prices to go up. Now we're dealing with an economic time that no one in can possibly even remember going through, because this hasn't happened since 1918. I mean,
right,
and then the Great Depression all the way through the early 30s. I mean, we're only at the very beginning stages of where this is going to be. And obviously they didn't have the news and the networking and social media that we do now, so there's no real way to tell what that impact was like versus what it will be like. Only um that I can say that, currently, yeah, prices are going up because the market has less buyers in it, and also credit has become a bigger issue.
right,
They used to be able to apply to approve like a 580 credit score, and it's gone up to like 620, 640 for some lenders. So again, the buyer pool has shrunk.
right,
And but that being said, we live in Houston where only 30% of our population is actually native. So everybody, 30% of everybody who lives here comes from somewhere else.
right,
So we have no shortage of people needing places to live.
right,
So again, seller's market now, but again, pandemic, financial crisis,
right,
people suspending their mortgages, and 30 to 40% of the job market is gone. And those industries, many of them may never come back. I mean, it's a lot
right,
of entertainment, restaurants, so forth. I mean, a lot of that's not going to come back. So what are they going to do now? Like, how are they going to make those? I mean, suspension is only good for 30 days, 60
right,
days,
right,
120, whatever, however long the government, procrastinates this inevitable boom, because
right.
it's gonna, um, that, I mean, unless they can literally like put the payments on the end of the mortgage, which I just don't see that occurring.
Mhm.
We'll see. I mean,
Because
I
is
do
that
highly
too good
anticipate
for a
that there's going to be a
company?
lot of defaulting on mortgages and a
Yeah,
whole bunch
yeah,
of
yeah. That's what I was
foreclosures and
gonna
so
say.
forth happening. So I anticipate that while prices are high now, they're very likely going to tumble. I don't think so much here in like Houston or Texas, but I mean, they will.
Right.
So in terms of, for a seller, great time to sell. For a buyer, well, great time to buy because interest rates are amazing if you've got the credit for it. But
Right.
if you're looking to spend a little less, well, sit tight. You might be catching a deal real soon. So
Exactly. Exactly. That's crazy. So what do you see? Do you see this having like long-term effects to where this is
yeah,
going to change the
absolutely.
market
5 to
completely?
10 years easy. Five to
Yeah.
10 years easy.
Yeah.
I
I
think
was
I think I saw the news that said something like we've wiped out the last 10 years of financial growth just this year.
oh wow. Just in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Just in a couple, that is so crazy because I was um I was talking with someone. So Talisha Daggs is normally my co-host on Wednesdays, right? And she's the credit guru, restoration, things like that. And so the interest rates and things like that are lower now, so that you can go ahead and buy. But then I was saying, me and her were talking, and I was saying, well, but on the other end, how does that affect you? Because um, in this time, how long is this going to go on? How long is this going to sooner or later these companies are not going to be able to continue this over and over, and maybe this may usher in a whole new um, type of way for them to deal with um, people buying and selling homes, right? Because
So
remember
already
when
happened.
yeah, yeah,
Already
yeah,
happened.
because I see, and then you had said earlier about, you spoke about um, some companies going with a lower credit score, right? But now it's like the credit score is much higher. You have to have this particular type of credit score in order for them to go ahead, even though interest rates are low and all of that good
620 and
stuff now.
above.
Like
And
a lot of people don't
a lot of
understand how
places
important.
640 and higher.
Right. That part right there. That part right there. So, let me ask you this. So, if I am in the in the investing market, is it an
Mhm.
invest now or an invest later? Because you just said that things are going to change. Just hold on a second. So, is it good because interest rates are low for me to invest in something you said a fixer upper, right? Or
Mhm.
something like that. Is it
So
plausible to see?
I'm also an investor. I also,
Okay.
I mean, I've flipped a house before. It was so much fun and so hard, but
I
also like
remember you telling me. I remember you telling me.
it's an
Yeah.
accomplishment. And I mean, buy low, sell high. I mean, stock market, real estate, same thing. But in this case, it's like, again, we live in Houston. We have one of the lowest housing costs in the nation. I mean, it is
Yeah.
pretty cheap to live here. I mean, I was listening to the news this morning and I think it was they said something like average home prices here are like $298,000. How come 15 years ago when I bought my first house, the average price of a
Right.
house was like 150, 180 maybe? I mean, so to go up almost 50%,
Yeah.
and I make this point to buyers and sellers all the time, is that the cost of real estate doubles in our region every 10 to 15 years. So for your
Mm,
sellers, please price your houses accordingly. Remember that little benchmark. Every 10 to 15
right.
years, your property value doubles. So don't let anybody tell you different. In
Right.
fact, look it up.
It, exactly. No, but you know what's funny, Vanessa? So if you were to take a ride in Houston, and ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking of Houston because that's where we reside, we live. But if you take a ride in any direction, north, east, south, west, and go to any of the lands, woodlands, pearland, sugarland,
Mm-hmm.
landland, any of the lands, you can see why. uh, you can see why what you just said. The average is like 280 or something like that because
Date.
all they are building. I read somewhere. No, no, no. Probably maybe I don't know how many years ago this was, but they said the average people or the average residents that were coming or moving to Houston at this particular time was like 3,000 a month. I'm sure it's doubled and tripled since then, but they were saying that Houston was the energy corridor now, and it's booming, and so people were just flocking in, and they were saying, and you can tell with all the construction going on, you can tell with all the buildings and the homes and all this stuff that even when we had the what was it 2008 was it that we had
Crisis.
the crash,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the crisis, Houston was still building.
Mm-hmm.
They were still out there. So it's an attestment to say that things are more expensive now. However, we're still lower, right, than most places. Because if you go to buy a house in New York or DC or anywhere around there, it dwarfs us over here.
Like
You get
10
a whole lot
houses there.
less.
Same price.
Yes, you get a whole lot less for a whole lot more. But here, you get more house for your buck. So I think it's crazy that that we're in a pandemic and now we're trying to purchase because society, well, the world has been brought to their knees and they have to make money. That you gotta you sustain your business. And like you said, a lot of businesses have closed over time. So a lot of people are getting out of their houses. A lot of people are not doing that over it. And it's only been since what, February, March? And here
Yeah.
we are in July. Like this is
We shut
crazy.
down March 11th, the day after George's birthday.
Come on. It was George's fault. It was George. George, tell George I said it. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We kicked him out of his office. He went to the other to another room.
Oh,
In
tell
charge.
George I'm sorry, but I had to get my interview in with my peeps, my peeps. So
He can live.
so let me ask you this. So somebody sent a question in and they said, ask Vanessa about manufactured homes.
Okay.
So do you suggest or do you
Uh, I yeah. Mm, I mean, if you can pick it up and crumble it in a tornado or
yeah,
hurricane, then
not really, huh?
a little bit weary of that. They're definitely not going to hold their value like an actual,
Right.
home on a foundation. I mean, if I don't think they're great investments, not for because they're not going to last forever.
Alice says no.
Yeah, yeah. She's an investor also. That's another client of
Okay.
mine. So yeah,
Indeed.
she definitely knows. They don't hold their value. So
Right.
really it's an affordable option.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
can, last several years,
Hmm.
and there is a market to turn those over as an investor. So
Gotcha.
it's not to say that they're never a good investment, but they're not a forever investment.
Gotcha. So in this aspect, when you're looking to get your let's say starter home, right? And you just want something that's affordable that you can have and it's not long term, maybe a manufactured home might be a way to go. However, come on, talk to me. Come on, talk to me.
So no, I mean, again, like if okay, so if I was a new first time jumping
Yes.
into the game buyer, I would start super small. So if I could backtrack and do this whole grown up thing all over again, I would start at buying a small condo. I mean, in Houston, sometimes you can find them maybe
Yeah.
not in the best areas, but nonetheless a good one where you could live there for a short amount of time and then rent it out and make forever money. And then I would incrementally one year from the next, just go up from there. I mean, that's how you build a portfolio, guys.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know about everybody watching or whatever, but I don't come from money.
Yeah,
So I'm having to figure out this whole situation myself and
exactly.
understand, that I want to leave my kids something when I'm gone. I want to, you have a legacy to pass down. And I mean, I didn't have no uncle to
Yeah.
teach me about that, like I didn't have
Okay.
nobody to tell me, oh, well, here's what you do whenever you're going to start your portfolio. I mean, who the hell has a portfolio? I mean, I didn't used to, but I mean, now that, grown up life has happened, now I know, like, I mean, if you start small and incrementally go up, I mean, you
Mhm.
can get to a place where basically you have enough real estate where your tenants are paying for all of your property. And
Right,
once they're paid off, all of that rent continues to come in. And not only that, but as time goes on and those values go up, so does your rent prices. So
right,
when you
right.
start small and you start building on top of that, I mean, at some point you're going to have forever income.
Right, right. I like that. I like that. So there's your answer there. There's your answer there. So I think sometimes you have to truly, and this is why I like Vanessa, right? Because Vanessa is going to be, you see, she was trying to be PC because she's on the show this morning. And I told her before she got on, I was like, just let it go. Like, you tell me what needs to happen. But Vanessa will be that person to say, okay, well, why do you want this? Well, what do you hope to gain? But then let me
Goals.
long-term goals. Like, you just don't go out and buy a house just to buy a house, because like she said, we don't come from money. So it's not like I can go out here and just buy one today and then get rid of it tomorrow and then buy another one on Thursday. Like, it doesn't work like that, right? That's right. So to the person that posed the question, yes, manufactured homes may be more affordable, as Bob Finch said down here. However, as Vanessa was saying, you have to really think about what you're investing in. Like, what are you doing? Because it's not, it is something that a manufactured home can be moved to a location. But would it be better if you thought about building a home on that said land versus purchasing a home and then moving it to that land? So it's according to what you would do. But I urge you to get you a realtor that
This realtor.
basically, right, that's basically going to tell you the truth. That's going to let you know, like, this is what's going on. And then because I remember there was this house that Vanessa showed me. Let me see if you remember this house. Remember this house? It
I
had
feel
the
like I already
pool.
know what you're going to say before you even say it.
Yeah. So this house was like in a really nice neighborhood. It was really, really nice. It had a pool in the middle of the house. Remember that? It was in a horseshoe shape. Remember that?
It took us like 3 hours to go see that because
Yeah,
they person walked us through and they just the secret rooms and everything.
yeah. So, so let me tell you, y'all know I'm spiritual, right? And so me and Vanessa was standing there, and they were like, "Oh, and then this is a secret room, and oh, and this is a secret room." And I said, Vanessa, I don't know what's happening. Then they said, we walked back in. So you walk in the house like this way, and the kitchen was over here, but then the living room and dining room was over in this area. But the house was shaped like a horseshoe, and there
Mm-hmm.
was a pool in the middle. It was really cute, really
They
1970s.
definitely built that pool first because
Yeah,
there's no way in
there's
hell they
no
got
way.
that there after that house was built.
Exactly. And
True.
so we were walking through, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice. This is," and you can tell they had did some renovations and stuff to it and all that good stuff. But this is so funny. Vanessa said, "What do you feel?" I said, "I don't know, Vanessa. I don't know." So we come back in, and there was an older gentleman and an older lady that was there showing us this house, right? And they were talking us through it. That's why it took us 3 hours, because they were talking about what was
Yeah,
going
they
on and all that kind of stuff.
those were agents that were doing their job.
Exactly. And then you right, hold on. Here go Melissa. Melissa Cantu says they were probably hidden sex rooms. So okay, so Melissa, so two things happened. we go into this room where there was a ton of closets. I don't know what was going on, but she walked. Remember, she walked into that one closet and hit that door, and that door, it was like a trap door, like a crawl space or something. And I said, "Oh no!" Inside the bathroom was mirrors everywhere, and then she hit the mirror, and the
Melissa, you're
door.
probably right. It was freaky up in there.
Exactly. So by this time, by this time, I was kind of freaking out, right? I was kind of freaking out. I was like, Vanessa, I don't know. So we go back into the living room, right? On our way going to the front door. And she says, the lady turns around, and she says, "Oh, but I saved, this is the coup de grace for you." The house was, it had two elderly ladies, and they did all type of sewing and this and that. She pulls down the attic door. I
I
will
forgot about that.
I will never forget that. She pulled down the attic door, and then she said these words. And at that point, me and Vanessa was like Speedy Gonzalez or I don't know, Roger. We were like, "Beyond," we were gone. She said, "Yes, the two old ladies made dolls or something up in the attic, and one of the ladies died there." And I said, and I don't know if she's let it slip, like it wasn't supposed to come out. And I looked up there and I said, and she said, "Well, no, go ahead and go up and check it out." That would be a no.
See you
I
later.
look, I told Vanessa, we were standing outside. I said, "Vanessa, it was something eerie about this house when we walked in, but I was mesmerized by the pool in the middle of the house." But I was like, "What the hey?" And then she said, "Well, no, you should go up and look around." She said, "It's even big enough for somebody your height, like that." And I said, "Oh, no, ma'am, no, thank you." Okay, then, all right, all right. Vanessa say, "I'll meet you outside," because I was gone.
Yeah, that was a very, very,
Oh my
very
God, Vanessa.
long tour.
Out of all the houses that we have seen, and me having my feelings, I would walk in somewhere and I would tell Vanessa, "No, this don't feel right. My spirit is tingling. It something not right." But this particular house, when she said that them people were doing dolls up in the attic or something, and the woman died up there, and I said,
Over it.
and it okay, and it was so subtle the way she said it, and then I said, "What did you say?" And she was like, "Oh no, you can go up there." "Oh no, I swear for God, that woman said that woman died up there. And I no can't do. So, anyways, long story short, I said that to say this. Vanessa was like, Vanessa was like, "Look, I ain't never gonna put you in anything. I'm not gonna press you to buy nothing. None of that." She said that house could have been selling for zero, and we would not have got that.
Yeah,
They
I
started
mean,
opening those rooms. I said,
so I always find that, I mean, buyers always are, intrigued with things or whatever, but it's like, okay, first we're going to talk before we ever go see a house. So you're going to give me your goals up front.
exactly.
We're going to know exactly what we're looking for. And as much as you're going to want to stray in all these different directions, I am here to bring you right back down to earth, right back down to center, because you really didn't want to spend $500,000. I promise that's what you told me. You told me 200, not 5. Let's
Right.
keep it moving.
Melissa say, "Hell no, The Shining." Exactly, Melissa. Like, that was so crazy. And people tell me all the time, "Titan, you making this stuff up." I said, "No, you
You
can
could
ask
not.
Melissa." That
You could
house had a
not make this
pool
stuff
in
up.
the middle of it, and there were trap doors and little crawl spaces everywhere. And I was like, I mean,
Yeah,
and
that
went to
house.
bed one night.
I knew you were going to talk about that house too. That I do. I mean, I specifically remember that one. Like, there are just some houses that I've toured that,
Just cannot.
wow, you
So
never forget. Never,
exactly,
never.
exactly. That house that had me going. And Blanca said, "Sounds good for a haunted house for Halloween." You know what? They probably should do that. But I was Blanca. I was not going up there to go see, to hear, or nothing. As soon as she pulled that that attic door down, I turned around and started walking the other way. I was like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. I don't even like my own attic. I don't even like, oh, wait a minute.
I
You can,
literally have never been in mine either. I've lived here 10 years. I don't even care what it looks like up there. I'm good.
okay. Look, let me tell you what's so funny. As Vanessa, I freak out about crawl spaces too. She
Mm-hmm.
was like, Titan, it's just a crawl space. I was like, Vanessa, no, 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 no. I think it's weird. So
List of no-nos. Let's keep it moving.
we went to one house, really quick, I would say this. We went to one house and it was a really nice house. It had a staircase on the side right here. But right at the top of the staircase was a crawl space. And I just told Vanessa, I said, I just keep seeing a horror movie of somebody coming out that crawl space. So I just
Yeah, there's definitely
the adventures of the buyer and the realtor. I tell you, I tell you. But anyways, I,
experiences of my life.
I love, love, love. But Vanessa was it. So I do want to say this though. I'm making jokes and stuff like that, but Vanessa is real. She will snap you back to reality because I saw this house that was just like beautiful through and through, through and through. And Vanessa kept saying, focus, focus. I was like,
You don't
ooh.
need that much house, mister. Nobody needs that amount of space for one person. I was like, come on, you plan on adopting some kids? What the hell's going on here?
And I was like, yes, Vanessa, this is it. She was like, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. There is no way. What are you going to do with all of this house? Like, what are you going to do? And this is not the price that you want to pay for this. So I was like this. And Vanessa was like, come here, come back, come back.
We're here,
like,
not there.
Yeah.
Over here. Okay.
Oh Lord, that was some good times though. That was some good times. But I want to ask a question that someone asked about here. So, what's one important thing that you notice that most people forget or should know when it comes to real estate? What's the one thing that people always get wrong, don't have? What's that one thing?
I don't know that there is anything that anybody gets wrong because
Right.
everybody's situation's just different.
I like that.
Um, I think there's just ideals and the bigger picture that kind of needs to be framed, I guess,
Right.
because
Right.
again, like some people think, okay, of this thing, and then others think of this thing and this thing, while these people over here are still thinking of this thing and this thing and this thing. But really, both families need to be thinking of all of those things. So it's a matter of
Right.
putting it into perspective and, telling them, well, I understand your goals. Here's what you're looking for. And, as we start the search process, just, making sure that they're recognizing all of the things. Like, for instance, I have one particular client right now who, I mean, just does not want anything to do with an HOA, like at all. And most of what they're looking for is just a lot of land, and they want something where they can add like a workspace off of
Right.
the garage or something. So, in the area in which they're looking, there's a lot of older HOAs and they're not as expensive. The lots are really big and
Mhm.
there's plenty of space to build what they're looking for. And because the HOAs are older, they're not as restrictive.
Right.
So it's about, like, okay, I appreciate that you really hate HOAs. I can understand that frustration. However,
Okay.
if I maybe help you save $50,000 and get you a big piece of land that you're not going to have all those issues with, maybe you'll still have an HOA, but I mean, you're going to save $50,000, like,
Right.
and still get literally everything you want and maybe more. I mean, it's just about like putting everything into perspective, like showing them ideas of, how to accomplish everything that they want within their budget by looking elsewhere, taking
Right.
advantage of a different situation or, just again, looking at it from a different perspective. So, I basically, I feel like come into the relationship, just filling in the blanks
Right,
and
right.
being the support system. Like I'm your advocate. I'm your friend. I'm going to tell you the absolute truth, whether you want to hear it or
She
not.
will. She
Because
will. She will. I was
I
over there
can't
pouting
live
one
with
time in the
myself
car.
if I try to like sell you something and I'm not being,
Right.
like real to who I am. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
again, I'm a crappy salesperson. I'm not good at that. I'm a helper people person. I want to
Gotcha.
help a person to succeed and accomplish their goals. I'm not in it, for the money. I mean, not that it's not good and all. I can appreciate a good paycheck. Feeding my kids is what I live for, but it's not about that for me.
Right.
It's about changing lives. Growing
Indeed.
up, I wasn't. I remember I never lived in a house ever. Thank you, Melissa.
Yes,
I've
Melissa
never
said she's been
ever
like that since high school. Real. She's been like that since the
since
GX days.
sixth grade. There's a couple of people on here since sixth grade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look,
Um,
I might not be able to do high school or sixth grade, but I know from my GX days, she's always been real like that. I know that for sure. And that's what, 2003. So we're in 2020,
right
17
after.
years.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. So I got to list something. I got to. But no, but I think that's an attestament to who you are as a businesswoman, and then also too, sometimes when we don't come from something, right? We and I'm not saying this is all the way around the board, but when you don't come from money, you have a better respect for the person and their money, right? Does that make sense? Because we know
No, it
what it's like.
absolutely makes sense. I
Yeah,
actually say that in business is that I spend every client's money as if it was my own.
come on,
I am
come
a
on.
gate. I like nice stuff, but I am not paying a lot for it. And if there's a coupon, I'm on it.
Look. I love. Somebody told me the other day, time you can always have a coupon, and you know it. Now, when I want now when I want my steak and potatoes and my wine and my 5 course meal, yes, I'm gonna go get that. But when I want a dollar menu or when I want a BOGO,
I
I'm going
still
over
got
to
a
the BOGO.
coupon. Shit, even for
And
that dollar menu, don't play with me.
what?
Don't
I
play
will
with me.
be out there doing coupons like this.
Yeah, making it rain. Let me see you.
Okay, making it
Yes.
rain. All right, so Vanessa, so we talked about buying and selling, right? So let me ask you this. If you are to get a condo, like you said earlier, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you were to get it for a short period of time and you wanted to turn over and you wanted to make money off of it, right? Um, someone said that if that's my oh, okay, if that's my primary residence, how
Mhm.
do I go about turning the house over for a profit and that's my primary residence? Like, how does that
Well,
work?
it would just okay. So there's two things, except that in the day of COVID, one of them doesn't technically apply right now. So, like, let's say you own this amazing loft near the medical center or in downtown, and you're traveling for work half the time. You can Airbnb that same property half of the time and make money.
Ah,
So that's an easy way.
yeah,
Separate from that, once you live in the property for however long, I mean, paying, the bills on it, you can absolutely rent that place out and go buy another one. And, if you made $30,000 before, and that's what from your own personal income, and that's what you're using to pay that mortgage payment. But now you can rent that same property out for $1,000 a month. Well, even if your income doesn't necessarily change from your work, your
right,
actual income has just increased by $12,000 because now you're making $12,000 a year worth of rent.
right.
So now you can afford more on the next purchase because now you're accounted for not a $30,000 income but a $42,000 income. So now you can afford more. So,
Yeah.
and then you just
And you
wash
keep
and
that
repeat.
going. Right, right. So I think you kind of answered Aurelia's question. She said, how do you get into rental property and what's the best way to start? And I think you just kind of answered that. Um, get you something, a condo, a small condo, as you stated, or
Or a
uh,
small 3-2. I mean, I would always
yeah,
suggest a small 3-2 first and foremost because I mean, who wants to pay condo fees forever? Because once you
yeah.
buy a condo, that's a thing. But in a small 3-2, I mean, those things are going to continue to increase in price like
Okay, so Vanessa, for
yes.
those that don't know shop talk, what's a small three
Uh,
two?
uh, a single story, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home.
There we
So an entry level home is what we
Yes.
would call it in real estate. So
Okay,
it's
cool. Cool.
it's the one that gains the most amount of equity the quickest.
Right, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't trying to tell Vanessa to not talk shop, but sometimes we on the outside we're listening to these things, and Vanessa had to break it down to me like what this meant. Like I didn't know about square footage, I didn't know about all of this type of stuff. I didn't know about flood areas. I didn't know about none of this stuff um, until we started looking for homes, and so. One more story, real quick. Where we went to the house that had the deck out on the back, but there was a bayou like right behind the backyard, and there was a drop off.
In
And
Acres Homes,
I think it was it Acres
it was
Home.
a new build, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And remember, we walked out on that deck, and you said, "Oh no, this is not going to work. This is not going to work." And I was like, "But it's
So I do have clients who will actually, agree with you on this because
yeah,
I okay, during Hurricane Harvey, I was the most anxious person on earth. When I tell you I had every client, I mean, every couple of hours, every several hours, I was texting everybody. And oh my gosh, for days, I mean, that lasted what, 4 or 5 days? I
right,
mean, at least 2 or 3 times a day, checking in with every single client. I have not sold one single flooded house. Never, ever.
wow,
Because I mean, and it's not that they shouldn't be purchased. I mean, to each their own. It's literally just I want to make sure that, like a family, if you're going to go into a flooded home, understand, like, okay, this has flooded before. These are
Mhm.
the repercussions. This is what could happen. This is what's happening with the drainage. But I mean, to be real, in Houston, and they're constantly messing with our drainage systems and our bayous.
Okay.
So just because I didn't flood last time doesn't mean I'm not going to flood this time. So it's a coin toss. Like you're never going to be able to escape that water. I mean, hopefully,
Exactly.
most of us can, but I mean, it's just a matter of like, if you have kids, do you want to risk that? And then even okay, so say they did. I even have a strategy just in case someone says, I really want this. Okay, I have a strategy in place where, like maybe we could write in like a flood device.
Yeah.
That guy in
Yeah.
Maryland with that big
Right.
old bubble thing around his house that's last
Right.
time so that he wouldn't flood. Basically, same thing. Or them big old Ziploc bags you could pull your car right on into.
Right. That
Yeah,
type of
if you want to
thing.
sell a
Right.
flooded house and it's been on the market a little while, I'd be probably willing to, add a couple $1,000s worth of flood devices so that I could hurry up and get it off the market.
Exactly. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do, we're coming up to the end of the show. It seemed like that hour went by fast. It went by really fast. But what I want to do, Vanessa, is give you a moment or a chance, and it can be as long as you want or as short as you want, to give your closing statements on real estate, where they should find you, what you offer, things like that. I know you have a my client first philosophy, right? So let us know about you, what you do, and where they can find you, and all of that good stuff.
So, Facebook, VL Realty, you can look me up there. My website, VLRealty.com. My email, Vanessa@VLRealty.com. It's pretty consistent all the way across.
Yes.
My broker is Texas Home Group. My broker, Howard Walker, he's an attorney, and just saying, never hurts to have a good real estate attorney in your circle. You know what I mean? Like,
Indeed.
all kinds of things could occur, and you never want to be without one of those. So,
Mhm.
um, I don't, I don't, I offer a service, obviously, but I think more of what I offer is a relationship. Like, I'm cool. I can sell you a house. I can write a contract. I can show you some properties, and yeah, that's my job. But that's not, again, like, not really what I'm in it for. Like, it's
Right.
the experience. It's the education. It's teaching
Mhm.
um, people like me or not like me, or just people who don't understand real estate. Just the idea of educating people on the power of your dollar. Like,
Right.
what this purchase is going to do for you now and in the future. Like, opening up eyes. Like, a lot of people just want to get into a house right now. uh, let's think about the future. Like, where do you plan to go? Like, yes,
Exactly.
start you from now, but I don't just want to sell you this house. I want to sell you all your houses for the rest of your life. So let's start practice, start planning for that, immediately. Tell me where you want to be in the future. um what I tell my clients is that, during the process, my goal is to educate. And as we go through, I am not going to over inundate you with information prematurely. When you need it, when it applies, I'm going to explain the process in
Exactly.
as kindergarten terms as I can possibly come up with, because
Yes.
that's what I would want to be explained to, and as it applies to me. And once we're done with that transaction, it is my goal that my buyers or sellers are going to be so knowledgeable on the subject, they're never going to need to hire a realtor forever, but they're going to love me so much
Right.
that they're never going to want to do it without me.
How
So,
about that? How about that? Yes, indeed. I like you.
well,
You
you
tell
would
it.
have invited me here and loved me for almost 20 years. I'm sure you do.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So, what we want you to do is to think about that home, think about the interest rates, think about this pandemic that's going on right now. But if you are in the market for buying or selling and you need a realtor, right? Uh, go check her out. Go check her out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're not telling you to go and buy a home right now because that may not be for you. However, if you're interested in that, it's always good to go and check out realtors, homes, buying, things like that, so that you have knowledge that you know. But if you go with Vanessa, I can attest to that you're going to get that knowledge, you're going to get that know-how, but you're going to also get that tough love. Like like she said, hey, focus. Get your eyes off the pool and focus on it.
Them nice floors can happen in another house that is way more suiting for you.
Yes, Lord, it's so funny because I had such I always have stories, but me and Vanessa going to these houses, it was so funny. Um, last one, Vanessa. Remember we went to the house to go see it, and the family was in the house. Remember, it was like five people in the house. It was the grandmother, the mother, the kids. And remember, I walked in and you walked right past them, went on, started showing, and I said, Vanessa. And she said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's just," I said, "Is this normal?" It was
Yeah.
a family.
Yeah. Okay, so I have another, like, really, like, that story, but it
Uh,
was like infinitely worse, because when we got there, when I was with another client, the lady was at the front door kind of lowering the slide door window of sorts,
uh-huh.
and she was like, "Oh, just letting air in the house." And here I am thinking, well, why do you need the air in the house? And as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, oh, the smell. Oh my God, like, I mean, my mom smoked in the house, but oh my God, my house never smelled like that. Like, we used to scrub
Yeah,
walls and stuff every season. But oh my gosh, these people were like hoarders and
yeah,
they smoked and it was, I mean, like, not just you got a whiff of the smoke, but no, that smoke dead punched you in the
yeah,
face, the
yeah,
gut, and made you want to like pull your hair out. It was so, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, that happens. But this one time, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It could have been so much worse.
So we always we're a group of fun individuals. We always crack jokes and stuff like that. But we don't want to discourage you from buying a home or selling a home or trying to do anything. But it's just that those were some things that happened and we were like, what? So that was that one home off of 288 in Orem. I don't know if you
The
remember
one
this.
you love, the two-story one.
Yes, the one that had the mold. Vanessa walks in the house and we get to the living room. We go through the kitchen and come into the living room, and Vanessa starts to go upstairs. And she says, "Oh, hold on, Titan, something not right." And I said, "What do you mean?"
No.
Remember?
Yes. No, that was not over there. It was over here, like near 290. By the
Okay, okay.
where that dog. Ooh, yes. And then
Yes,
no, yes, no,
they had
yes.
the air, they
It
had
was
the air
bad.
on full blast. Like it was all type of smell good going on in there. And we got in and Vanessa was like,
There's mold.
something's not right. And then we go through the kitchen and we get to the living room and there's a stairwell and Vanessa starts walking toward the stairs and she stops. And she said, "Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go." And I said, "Well, what's wrong?" She said, "I'm itching." Like I'm itching. Remember? I
It
said,
was mold. I could smell
yeah,
it immediately. And then not only
yeah,
that, but there was just telltale signs all around the house. I mean, I
yeah.
can walk into a person's house and tell you if they're going through a divorce or not. I mean, I am very like observant. But now
Indeed.
my sense of smell is on point.
Yes, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we've had some times. We've had some good time. We've seen some beautiful homes, some great homes to move in. We've also seen those, like she said, they're trying to get rid of it because it could have been flooded or something like that, and you don't know. So it's always best to be one on one with your realtor, be honest about what it is, and then for your realtor to be honest with you. Because if she wouldn't have said anything, me not knowing, I knew something was off but I didn't know what it was. And when she said that, I said, "Oh, so that's that feeling." So they had it sub-zero temperature in there because they knew that it was mold in there. They knew it sub-zero temperature. And
Could be fleas when it's really cold in the house. It
yeah,
could be fleas too. That's another
yeah.
thing they do to make the fleas go.
Ah,
They put it really, really cold in the house.
yeah. And I never knew that. Never knew that. So,
Me
ladies and
neither.
gentlemen,
So one day I came and I had fleas all over my white jeans. It was not pleasant.
not pleasant at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for tuning in this morning. I want to thank our guest, our wonderful guest, Vanessa Ramirez, for coming in and giving us knowledge and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, go and check her out, vlrealty.com. She's on Facebook as well. Just go and check her out. Go peruse the website, see what's going on, and then contact her. Her information is on the website. Her information is on a Facebook page, all of that good stuff. So go ahead and check her out. Um, she she mentioned early on that now is a time for you to look at houses, but also to be safe. So we want you to make sure that you're being safe during COVID, right? We can't tell you just to go out there and just start looking and doing and touching and make sure that you're safe. Make sure that you understand that we are still in a pandemic. And even though you may be interested and really want to buy a house, right? Before you go out and start doing things, get with the realtor and find out what you need to do. Make sure you protect yourself, okay? Because we want you to have a house. We
For sure.
want you to live and do all that, but we want you to protect yourself.
Well, and also just to say, like, we are considered essential. So I mean, because everybody's got to live somewhere. So if
Right.
we're not available to find a place to live, then that wouldn't be good. So I mean, we as an association, Houston
Mhm.
Association of Realtors, Texas Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors, like we are constantly being informed by our association and provided with access to like PPE or
Mhm.
ideas of how to do business during this situation. And there's ways we can get it
Yeah.
done. Virtually speaking, we've been working towards this whole virtual platform for a long time. Um, we do virtual tours basically.
Yeah.
So 3D walkthrough basically where you're pretty much just walking through the property as you tap through it, and it's real looking. So
Right.
we've been on a path towards that already. Um, so we can accommodate. I mean, as long
Mhm.
as everybody's being respectful of one another's health, and I'm not going to come out if I'm feeling at all sick, and I know that no one's going to put me at risk
Mhm.
by coming out when they're being sick. So I mean, again, I built relationships, so we're definitely having this conversation before
Exactly.
we go anywhere.
Right.
um and it's about keeping people safe. I mean, I don't, definitely love you too, Melissa. I don't want to harm anybody. I don't even leave the house, girl, unless I have to, and masks, of course.
Exactly. Exactly.
We have protocols, and then other agents with listings or houses where people are living there, they'll put hand sanitizer, shoe coverings,
Food
or
covering.
whatever,
Yeah.
or specific instructions on the door. I mean, there's a method to our
Mhm.
madness, and we are looking obviously out for our clients and ourselves. I mean, we want to live.
Indeed. Come
All
on.
of us do. So we're
Exactly.
definitely looking to take care of everyone. So I mean, it can be safe as long as everybody knows that they're safe and healthy,
Mhm.
and we know that we're walking into environments that are safe and healthy, and as long as communication is there, then hey, I mean, we can get it done. Everybody needs a place to
Indeed.
live.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I
Thank
love you for
you.
coming on. I know we kind of did it at last minute, but I'm thankful. I've learned something. I think it's important that we all understand that we continue to learn and we continue to gain knowledge about things that we don't know. A lot of people may not have known that Houston is a booming real estate city. Like it's always there. And who knew that 280 was the mean, like the average? Like what the? Whew.
Almost 300,000, right? I know,
Yeah,
right?
that is so crazy. That is so crazy. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you for coming on. We will talk soon. Everyone, go ahead and give Vanessa a round of applause, a little wave, and all that good stuff. And Vanessa, you be ready. I might need to have you on again sometime down the road. But I
Uh,
do thank you. I want to say this before we get off. I'm in the habit of doing this here lately. I want to say thank you for always being that friend, right? And but then always being that person to do good business, and we all know what good business is. To do good business, and then to represent yourself the way that you have. I applaud you for getting out there and doing, making it happen, running your own business, making it do what it do. So I just want to say thank you for your contribution to the universe in doing that, right? I
thank
appreciate you. I
you.
don't know if I ever told you that, but I think I have. But I don't know if I've told you that. But I love you, love you, love you for that. I love you for being real and being upfront and telling me to focus.
Always, honey. It's
Indeed.
payback for all
Oh,
those times you told me when you used to be the boss
okay.
man, remember?
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Oh, wow. Good times, good times. All right, Vanessa, you take care. I will talk with you soon. Wait a minute. Do me a favor though, Vanessa. Hold on a second. I'm gonna take you out just a moment, but hold on. I'm gonna come right to you. Okay. Hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I want to say this to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know anything else on this Wednesday, on this workshop Wednesday, with me having Vanessa on and her letting you know about buying homes and things like that, I want you to know that you deserve to be blessed. I don't believe there was any other reason you were put on this earth other than to be blessed and to be a blessing. Peace and blessings to you until next time.